My friends, we live in a world where storms come unannounced. Sometimes they roar outside, other times they rage within. But there is a kind of strength, a quiet, unshakable power that does not scream or boast. It simply stands still, unbothered. To live a meaningful life, we must learn not to react to everything. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every insult deserves an answer. The deeper your roots go, the less the wind can shake you. You must train your heart to rise above the noise and your mind to rest in peace when the world is restless. Let people talk. Let life test you. Let storms come. Your calmness will be your greatest testimony. The strongest people are not those who fight every fight. They are the ones who know when to walk away, when to stay silent, and when to stand tall without showing the weight they carry. When you act as if nothing bothers you, not out of pride, but out of peace, you confuse the enemy and inspire the weak. You are not here to prove yourself to everyone. You are here to fulfill your purpose. Let the world spin, you stay centered. Not every reaction is necessary. That truth, though simple, holds the key to peace in a world that constantly tries to steal it. Every day we're faced with moments that pull at our emotions, comments, glances, criticisms, delays, disappointment, and the natural instinct is to react, to defend, to explain, to retaliate. But reacting to everything that bothers us is like opening the door to every stranger that knocks. Soon enough, your house won't feel like your own. When we react to everything, we hand over our power. We let the outside world dictate our inner world. A careless word from a stranger ruins your mood. A missed opportunity eats at your confidence. A social media post throws your whole day off track. The truth is, people will talk, life will challenge you, and not everything will go your way. But you don't have to let all of it into your spirit. You can choose what deserves your energy. You can choose to pause, to breathe, and to keep walking. This isn't about being passive. It's about being purposeful. It's about understanding the difference between reacting and responding. Reaction is instant, emotional, and often driven by ego. Response is intentional. It's rooted in clarity, in maturity. A response requires patience, and patience is a form of strength. There's something powerful about letting something go and not letting it take residence in your heart. When someone disrespects you, it doesn't always need a comeback. When something doesn't go your way, it doesn't always mean you've failed. Learning not to react doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. Because you're not avoiding the issue, you're rising above it. You're deciding what's worth your attention and what's just noise. The ability to stay calm in the middle of chaos confuses people. It throws off those who expect you to crumble, to break, to fire back. There's a certain grace in staying still when everything tries to shake you. And the more you practice it, the stronger you become. You start to protect your peace. You stop giving people the satisfaction of knowing they got under your skin. This doesn't mean you don't feel things. It doesn't mean you suppress or pretend. It means you become the master of your emotions rather than a slave to them. You can feel deeply and still move wisely. You can be passionate and still be disciplined. You can be hurt and still choose to heal in silence, not revenge in noise. There is real freedom in not reacting, freedom from the opinions of others, freedom from the need to explain yourself, freedom from the constant emotional roller coaster. The more you learn to pause, the more you understand that peace isn't the absence of trouble. It's the ability to stay grounded in the midst of it. So let the world keep spinning. Let the comments come and go. Let the tests arrive. You'll find your strength not in what you say back, but in what you choose to let go. That's where real power lives, in your silence, your stillness, your restraint. True strength is calm under pressure. It's not in loud voices, clenched fists, or explosive reactions. It's in the quiet confidence of someone who remains steady when the ground beneath them begins to shake. The world often celebrates strength as something loud, aggressive, and dominant. But real strength is far more subtle. It's in the person who doesn't panic when things go wrong, who doesn't crumble under stress, who can carry the weight of chaos with a composed heart. When pressure rises, most people react. They shout, blame, break down, or give up. But the ones who possess true strength respond differently. They take a breath, clear their thoughts, and choose their next move with wisdom. This doesn't mean they don't feel fear or stress. It means they've trained their minds and hearts to stay grounded even when everything around them is pushing them off balance. Staying calm under pressure is a sign of maturity and self-control. It shows that you are not ruled by emotion, but guided by purpose. Pressure reveals what's really inside a person. Anyone can appear strong when life is easy, when everything goes according to plan, but when the storm hits, when plans fall apart, when people turn against you, when you're backed into a corner, that's when your true character is revealed. And if you can remain calm then, not because you're numb, but because you're focused, you're operating from a deeper strength. That kind of calm doesn't come overnight. It's built over time through struggles, failures, and learning to sit with discomfort. It's the result of choosing not to be reactive, of learning to breathe before speaking, to think before acting. It's forged in moments when you had every reason to explode, but instead chose to rise above. That quiet calm becomes your armor. It protects your mind from being scattered and your heart from being shattered. Pressure is not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's what shapes us. Diamonds form under pressure, and so do strong people. But only those who know how to remain centered can transform pressure into purpose. Those who let panic take over end up making decisions they regret. But those who stay calm can see clearly, even when others are blinded by fear. True strength doesn't seek to control others, it seeks to control itself. It's the power to remain kind when you're treated poorly, to stay hopeful when you're surrounded by doubt, to stay still when everything urges you to rush. Calmness under pressure doesn't mean you're doing nothing. It means you're doing the hardest thing of all, maintaining control in a situation where most people would lose it. In the end, the calmest person in the room often has the most power. They're not distracted, not desperate, not defeated. They're clear, collected, and connected to something deeper than the moment. That's the kind of strength the world needs more of. Not more noise, not more fire, but more calm hearts who know who they are, what they stand for, and how to carry peace into pressure. Let go of the need to prove yourself. It's one of the most freeing decisions you can ever make. From a young age, we're taught to chase approval, to get the gold star, to be the best, to make others proud. Somewhere along the way, that natural desire to grow turns into a heavy burden. We start living not to fulfill our purpose, but to meet expectations. We measure our worth by how others see us, how much we accomplish, how much praise we receive. And in that race, we lose something sacred, our peace. The constant need to prove yourself is exhausting. It puts you in a cycle where you're never enough. No matter what you achieve, someone will always have more. No matter how hard you try, there will always be critics. And if you let those voices control your value, you'll spend your whole life performing instead of living. You'll shape your choices around what will impress others instead of what truly fulfills you. That's not strength. That's bondage. When you let go of the need to prove yourself, something shifts inside you. You stop chasing validation and start embracing authenticity. You begin to do things because they're right for you, not because they'll get applause. You learn that you're not on this earth to impress anyone. You're here to become who you were created to be. And not everyone will understand your path. That's okay. They're not supposed to. Your journey isn't a stage for others to watch. It's a calling for you to walk. People's opinions are loud, but they are not law. What matters most is not what others think about you, but what you think about yourself when you're alone. Can you look in the mirror and say, I'm living true to myself? That's worth more than 1,000 compliments. When you stop trying to prove your value, you actually begin to see your value more clearly. You realize you don't have to be the loudest voice in the room, the richest person in the circle, or the most liked on a screen. You just have to be real, consistent, faithful to your truth. Letting go doesn't mean you stop trying or growing. It means your efforts are no longer fueled by insecurity or fear of judgment. They're driven by love, by passion, by purpose. You work hard, not to show others you're good enough, but because you already know you are. That's a different kind of power, one that doesn't depend on anyone's reaction. There is peace in letting go. Peace in knowing you don't need permission to be yourself. Peace in realizing that your life is not a contest. You're not running someone else's race. You're not here to fit into someone else's mold. You're here to grow, to love, to live deeply and honestly. So release the weight of trying to prove your worth. You are already enough. You don't need the crowd's applause to validate your existence. Just keep showing up, keep growing, and keep walking in truth. That's where your freedom begins. Walking away is sometimes braver than standing your ground. The world teaches us that bravery means confrontation, that strength is about not backing down. But real courage is knowing when a battle is not worth your peace, your energy, or your future. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is choose yourself and walk away from what no longer serves you. There's a kind of dignity in stepping back, not because you're afraid, but because you understand the cost of staying. You see that winning isn't always about being right. It's not about proving a point, getting the last word, or staying in a situation just to show you're tough. Winning sometimes is about preserving your soul, your values, your mental and emotional well-being, and that takes real courage. It's easy to stay in familiar places, even when they hurt. It's easy to stay in arguments, relationships, environments, or mindsets that drain you, because walking away feels like giving up. But in reality, it takes more strength to leave what is hurting you than to pretend it's not. It takes a brave heart to walk away from comfort when you know it's costing you peace. It takes wisdom to know that some things aren't meant to be fixed. They're meant to be left behind. People often fear walking away because of what others might think. They fear being labeled a quitter, a coward, or someone who couldn't handle the pressure. But true bravery isn't concerned with labels. It's focused on truth. And the truth is, sometimes the most powerful move you can make is the quiet one. The one where you don't explain, you don't argue, you simply exit the space that's no longer aligned with who you are or who you're becoming. Walking away is a sign of growth. It's a sign that you've come to value yourself enough you've learned that not every fight is yours to fight, and not every place is yours to remain. You're no longer attached to proving your worth in situations that continually diminish it. You've learned to protect your peace more than your pride. There's also a quiet confidence in walking away. It says, I don't need this to define me. I don't need to win this to feel strong. I am strong because I know when to release what weighs me down. That confidence can't be shaken, because it comes from within, not from someone else's approval. Sometimes walking away isn't about leaving a person or place. It's about leaving behind a version of yourself that no longer fits. It's about outgrowing the need to fight for things that don't feed your spirit. That's not quitting. that's evolving. So don't be afraid to walk away when it's time. Don't let the noise of others convince you to stay where your soul feels restless. It takes great courage to say, this isn't for me anymore. And it takes even greater strength to follow through with that truth. Your calmness is your power. In a world that's constantly rushing, shouting, and demanding attention, staying calm is not just a reaction, it's a choice, a strength, a quiet kind of dominance that few understand but everyone notices. When you stay calm in moments of chaos, you become a steady force. You become someone who cannot be easily shaken, someone who holds peace in a place where panic usually lives. Calmness is not the absence of emotion, it's the mastery of it. It means your thoughts aren't running wild, your heart isn't racing to match the noise around you, and your energy isn't scattered by someone else's storm. It means you're aware of everything happening around you, but you're choosing to respond with grace instead of reacting out of fear or frustration. And that choice, that control, is real power. People often think that strength is loud, that power is seen in how much you push back or how hard you hit. But true power rarely makes noise. It speaks through presence, through restraint, through clarity. When you are calm, you think more clearly, you see more honestly, you act more intentionally. While others are losing themselves in the moment, your calmness gives you the upper hand, not to overpower, but to outlast. Life will test your calm. It will bring people who try to provoke you, situations that aim to disrupt your peace, and moments that challenge your patience. But every time you stay grounded, you build something stronger within yourself. You develop a kind of resilience that can't be taken away. Calmness teaches you how to carry peace, even when everything around you is screaming for your attention. Then there's also something incredibly magnetic about a calm person. People are drawn to them, not because they're loud or dominant, but because they feel safe in their presence. Their energy is steady, not draining. Their words are few, but they carry weight. Their silence isn't empty, it's full of awareness and confidence. That's the kind of person others trust. That's the kind of person who leads not by force, but by example. Calmness protects you. It shields you from saying things you'll regret, from acting in ways that betray your character, from getting pulled into battles that aren't even yours. It gives you space between impulse and action, between frustration and response. That space is where wisdom lives. And when you live from that space, you make better choices. You walk more gently, but more firmly. You become a person who doesn't just survive chaos, but transforms it. In moments of pressure, the calmest one in the room always holds the most influence. Not because they control others, but because they control themselves. That kind of presence changes environments, cools tempers, and inspires strength in others. It's not about pretending nothing affects you. It's about knowing that you don't have to let everything inside. So when the noise rises, when the pressure builds, when emotions threaten to take over, breathe. Stay still. Remember who you are and what you stand for. That calmness isn't weakness. It's your quiet, undeniable power. Center yourself in a higher purpose. In the noise of life, in the chaos of daily demands, it's easy to lose sight of what really matters. We get pulled in different directions, by pressure, by people, by expectations. But when you have a higher purpose anchoring you, you become unshakable. You stop drifting with every wave and start moving with intention. Purpose is what gives meaning to the struggle, direction to the journey, and light in the darkest moments. A higher purpose isn't always about something dramatic or grand. It's not just about saving the world or making history. Sometimes it's simply about living with integrity, loving people well, growing beyond your limits, or being a source of peace in your surroundings. It's about connecting your actions to something bigger than ego, status, or short-term gain. When you live like that, you rise above the distractions. You don't need to impress anyone. You're already living for something greater. There will always be times when life feels heavy. There will be days when you question the point of it all, when challenges wear you down, and when the path ahead looks uncertain. That's when your purpose speaks loudest. It reminds you why you started. It brings your focus back to what truly matters. When your purpose is clear, your steps become steady, even when the terrain is rough. You don't give up as easily. You don't get lost in comparison. You stop needing external validation because you're already being led by something internal and powerful. Centering yourself in a higher purpose also keeps your ego in check. It's not about being the best. It's about being useful, being faithful, being true. It's about doing what you're meant to do even when no one notices, even when the applause is absent. That kind of life may not always look successful on the surface, but it builds deep roots, and anything with deep roots can withstand strong winds. When you live with a higher purpose, you begin to realize that even your pain, your delays, your failures, they're not wasted. They become part of the process. They shape your strength, your empathy, your story. You begin to trust that life is not random, and your steps, even the slow ones, are not meaningless. Purpose gives your struggles a place to belong. It also gives you peace. Because when you're centered in something bigger than yourself, you stop needing everything to go your way. You don't have to control everything. You simply do your part with faith and let go of the rest. You realize that it's not all about you, but that you matter deeply in the role you've been given. So when life feels unstable, return to your purpose. Let it ground you, let it humble you, let it remind you that you're not here by accident. You're here to grow, to serve, to impact, to love. And when you keep that at the center, no matter what comes your way, you will not be moved. Here's a suitable and powerful ending for your speech. Learn to act as if nothing bothers you. So learn to act as if nothing bothers you, not because you don't feel, but because you've learned to rise above. Let your silence speak louder than chaos. Let your stillness be stronger than noise. The world doesn't need more people reacting to everything. It needs more people who know how to stay composed, focused, and grounded. The calmest minds build the strongest lives. And when you master the art of inner stillness, nothing outside you can disturb the power within you.